In response to the leaked sparring video of David Benavidez, Dmitry Bivol shared his thoughts on their previous training sessions. Reflecting on their sparring sessions, BBV recognized Benavidez as a great fighter and expressed appreciation for his abilities and ambition. He also pointed out that Benz's willingness to push both him and Artur BBV shows his confidence and drive to further his career. Bivol remembered that both fighters demonstrated strong points while practicing various methods under the supervision of their instructor.
Respect him as a fighter. He's a really great fighter, and what he's saying that he wants to fight me and better be, it means that he's a great fighter. He's confident and he wanna achieve more and more. It's good, and what I could tell.
Do you remember the sparring with David?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we had a couple of sparrings. I remember it was some of good moments from my side.
He underlined that, in accordance with Bivol, sparring is only a training exercise in which fighters test out different tactics rather than aiming for complete supremacy. He clarified that sparring and a real fight are entirely different situations. In a real fight, Bivol explained, a boxer must make quick adjustments and cannot afford to waste time on techniques that are not working, unlike sparring, where fighters focus on specific drills regardless of their effectiveness. A fight demands immediate adaptability, while sparring showcased moments of skill from both sides. Fighters use these sessions to apply their coach's instructions, sometimes succeeding in one round and struggling in another. Bivol thinks that competing professionally against Benavidez would provide a whole other set of difficulties.
Some of good moments from my side, some good moments from his side. But you know, it's sparring. Sparring, it's sparring. You do some things which coach told you. You should do this and this. And you are trying one round. You couldn't do it. Another round, you try to do this. It couldn't. On the third round, you can do it once only. And you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked you, you know. And in the fight, of course, it's different. In the fight, they ask you to do something. You will not waste your time if it's not good.
Following his arduous triumph over BBV, in a post-fight,
It is possibly instead of a trilogy with Artur.
You know, I'm open for any fight, but today I wanna enjoy that I'm undisputed champion. I wanna take care of my health because I have some issues. I wanna heal myself and then move forward again. Doesn't matter, trilogy, Benavidez, Canela, or I just, as always, I'm just waiting offer. And I'm saying yes.
Dmitry Bivol answered a number of questions about his future. He emphasized the importance of enjoying this milestone before making plans for his next move. He acknowledged that he had some physical issues to recover from before returning to the ring, but he remained open to any challenge, whether it be a fight against David Benavidez, a trilogy with Bev, or even against Canelo Alvarez. When asked specifically about Benavidez, Bivol reiterated that he has no preference for his next opponent, but rather stated that he is willing to take on whoever the boxing world and his fans demand. He made it clear that his focus is on continuing to challenge himself, whether that means facing Benavidez, resuming his rivalry with PBV, or even considering a move up to cruiserweight.
Dmitry, how do you feel about your next opponent?
I think the December it will be just amazing. You know, maybe earlier, maybe October. Why not?
You have a preference, David or trilogy?
I don't have any preference now, to be honest. What people wanna see, I gonna take, no problem.
Bivol considered his rematch as well, acknowledging the changes he made to win. He demonstrated his ability to maintain control of the bout by outmaneuvering the strong beater Bev with his defensive discipline movement and counterpunch. His exact approach made sure he steered clear of drawn-out, Conversations while looking ahead, Bivol is patient and says he is waiting for offers to come his way. He also stressed that he is open to all possibilities and will accept the fight that makes the most sense, whether it's a major challenge or a trilogy with better Bev. Bivol lands clean and effective shots throughout the fight. Bivol has solidified his place among the best in boxing and is ready to face any challenge that may arise.
David Benavidez versus Bivol is a way better fight than David Benavidez versus Canelo, only because if he beats Bivol, it proves that he's better than Canelo, is the best Mexican boxer, and is the best at 168 and 175.
An expert analysis of Benavidez versus Bivol demonstrates why this bout is more important than Bivol versus Canelo. A victory over Bivol would be a turning point in Benavidez's career, advancing him. The greatest Mexican boxer of this era, other from Canelo Ball, who is renowned for his technical proficiency and defensive brilliance, poses a more difficult stylistic obstacle than Canelo. In contrast to Canelo, who has already lost to Ball, Benavidez, a victory over him, would not only make Benavidez the best fighter at 168 pounds, but also solidify his position as a dominant force at 175 pounds. This fight will determine the future of the super middleweight and light heavyweight divisions, making it a more significant match for the boxing world than a rematch between Bivol and Canelo.
I think the purer puncher probably is Morel for one shot. He's the less experienced guy, but he's got that Cuban background, with the amateur pedigree, over 100-something fights. He's got experience. Even though he's got a lot less fights professional, he's got experience. He hasn't fought the resume professionally that Benavidez has, so that's in favor of Benavidez. The experience, always important. But also the pedigree, like I said, where he comes from, Cuba, how, you come from that island that from the beginning when you first put those gloves on, it's all about becoming a world champ.
Teddy Atlas outlines David Benavidez's upcoming prospects and obstacles. A fight between Benitez and Bivol would not only be about power, it would also be about ring IQ adaptability and the ability to impose one's will over 12 rounds. One of the biggest possible opponents is Dmitry Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion. Bivol poses a unique challenge and is perhaps tougher than Artur Beterbiev in some ways. He is a disciplined and precise boxer who can neutralize aggression with his movement and counterpunch.
He says, quote, "I don't want to fight someone who doesn't mean something for my career. And the best out there now is David Morel."
I see him coming up to 175. He's talking a lot of shit. So I'm going to shut his ass up. And also, it would be a bigger pay-per-view if we wait later. His name is not that big, but, I don't give a fuck.
They just talk the way you want your fighters to talk. They're all about the smoke. They want to fight everybody. It seems like whoever would win the Morel-Benavidez fight, get the shot. But at the end of the day, we got a guy who wants to fight a tough guy.
David Morel is so good. David Morel is a high-risk, low-reward fighter. You have to overpay people to step in the ring with him. If you don't overpay him, you won't get him in the ring. It's as simple as that, Jack. So, David Morel going in 2024, one of the most exciting fighters, got an exciting style, has a fan base in Minnesota. That's the knock on the Cubans. No international distribution on the Cuban feed because they don't show the fights. Has a fan base in Minnesota. Now we need to see the fights. Vladimir Shishkin, Christian Mbili. Any of those guys on the back end of the top 10, I want to see them in with him.
Canelo Alvarez, the current super middleweight king, is another significant contender for Benavidez. Many people think Benavidez has been the legitimate challenger for years because of his unrelenting pressure and volume punching, which makes him a serious threat to Canelo's reign. Canelo is a skilled counterpuncher who can take advantage of openings, much like David Morel tried but was unable to do against Benavidez. He also has a dangerous uppercut, which has worked against aggressive fighters like Benavidez in the past. Because of this, Benavidez is in a position where he doesn't always have to take the hardest shots. Financially speaking,